blind tastings are dangerous because we might look like complete fools. Not just me looking like this all the time, but we could completely be off base on what we're talking about here in these glasses, but we do it for you. Takes out all the bias from the equation. Let's get into this tasting and see what we're working with.
Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Erin.
I'm Josh. If you're new here, we are husband and wife. Erin more the social sipper. Me, I'm just a whiskey enthusiast and a whiskey nerd. And we're tasting some stuff that we have no idea what's in the glass. Nope. We're double blind. We've drawn these at random from a big pool of samples that we put together. And it could be almost anything. But we're going to taste them, smell them, taste them, let you know what we think about them, and see how they compare without all that pesky bias clouding our vision and our judgment. Let's get into the nose on glass one.
I'm not getting much. It smells like whiskey.
It smells like one of those, I don't even know what they're called, but I'm imagining a packaged pastry.
Okay.
It's in plastic wrap.
Okay.
And it's like a pastry thing with like strawberry drizzle. It almost smells like, what are those things you like? Not Pop-Tarts, but the other things.
Toaster strudels?
That. It smells like a toaster strudel, kind of. That's all I got. Let's get it on the palate.
I feel like you put strudel in my head. Now I taste strudel, but like an alcoholic one.
Yeah.
There's a burn there. It's not a bad burn. Like it's not a strong, it doesn't seem high proof, but there is a burn because it is alcohol. If that makes sense.
I mean, you're right on. You're spot on as far as what I'm experiencing. Definitely has that strudely type of flavor. Mm-hmm. Like there's kind of this bready element to it.
I'd say
a
like
pastry element.
A strawberry cherry blended strudel.
Yeah. And then the fruit that's there, it kind of lingers throughout. And there is quite a bit of alcohol prevalent. Mm-hmm. Not that it seems high proof. It just seems very alcohol forward.
Alcohol vapors, like that vibe.
Yeah. Let's take another sip just to be sure.
Yeah, it tastes the same. I got maybe a little bit more dryingness on that second sip, which is pretty normal for me. So
yeah, I feel like that second sip for me, that alcohol forwardness kind of fell back a little bit as my palate gets acclimated to the pour. And
I mean, it is alcohol that we're drinking, so
yeah, but
you do have to get used to the fact that it's alcoholic.
More of the fruit was kind of sticking around though, and more oak came in to kind of balance things out. Still feels a little thin, a little bright, a little young.
Yeah.
For what it seems.
I will say, like, the viscosity of the liquid. I like saying that word, viscosity.
It's a fun word. Say it at home. Viscosity.
The viscosity of the liquid does feel thin.
Viscosity. Let's get in the glass too on the nose.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Here we go.
This smells a little darker,
Also,
a little more leaning towards butterscotch.
By the way, somebody mentioned in the comments that you had less in your glasses than me.
I request less.
By design.
Yeah.
Everything here is by design. So you don't have to critique it in the comments. I mean, you're welcome to if you want to, but
he talks more because I ask him to speak more. Yeah. He gives me less because I ask him to give me less. Yeah. He's a really good guy.
I just listen to do what I'm told. Every husband out there knows the rules.
Sometimes he listens.
You know how it goes. Yeah, this has so much more of a cohesive, full flavor spectrum to it. It
has like a darker feel to it as far as this one maybe would be more bright. This would be more dark.
This smells like double the age of the first glass. It smells actually really similar.
Potentially, yeah.
I'm not getting necessarily the strudeliness. I'm getting more of like a vanilla, a heavy vanilla caramel oak presence to kind of go along with the fruitiness.
I'm kind of like caramel leaning towards butterscotch.
Okay, I'm not getting butterscotch, but let's get this on the palate and see.
When I was tasting it, I was smelling it as I was tasting it, and I got some paint on the nose. So that distracted me. I need another sip. Man,
it kind of actually goes a little bit bitter and tannic on the back end for me. That's very interesting. Oh, now it's kind of coming through with like, those things I used to get, the stroopwafels? Mm-hmm. It's kind of coming through with a little bit of that. Like a real tempered sweetness. It's not like
I'm not getting any sweetness.
Candy bar sweet. It's just kind of leaning all into the dark elements.
It feels dark, and then the second sip for me, again, drying. I'm going to need a little bit more time to get any more notes. I do have a preference already, but if I'm trying to get some like actual, like, what does this taste like? I need some more time.
Okay, second sip for me, things kind of come into line. Again, you can never trust that first sip.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little bit more of a vanilla cream sweetness on it. The caramel's kind of falling back. It's more just vanilla cream, that kind of general fruit amalgamation thing going on. And a fair bit of oak is coming through on that glass as well. And it's kind of sticking around a little bit on the palate, at least in comparison to glass 1. I might have a preference at this point, but I'm going to need to spend some time with these as well, because I'm honestly a little bit miffed on, I don't think that's the right word, miffed. Miffed means you are like upset, right? I'm not upset. I'm just confused.
That's par for the course with you.
Day in the life around here. Right. We're going to take our time. We'll be back with ratings, further thoughts, all that stuff. Just a second. Man, this is a roller coaster matchup for me. I don't know how you're feeling, but fill us in.
I mean, I had a tough time getting any more off of either of these. I think they're both fine. I probably wouldn't pick them. Like if you were like, hey, Aaron, what do you want to drink? I probably wouldn't pick either of these, but they're not bad. So they're getting, both of them are getting just okay.
Okay. Interesting. You know, as I spent some more time with them, that alcohol forwardness on glass 1 kind of fell by the wayside. And that's just acclimation of palate and everything. Yeah. But to me, strong preference towards glass 2. You said you had a preference, by the way.
My preference would be to glass 2, but I wouldn't say strong. They're both fine, but if I had to pick one, like if you're like, we only have these two, I would pick I'd pick a pour of glass 2. But if you're like, we've got these two and some other stuff, I'd probably be like, give me the other stuff.
You know, that's fair. I think glass 2 just comes through way more well-rounded, and it does have a finish that kind of sticks around in comparison to glass 1.
I agree.
A much deeper, richer profile, but it's lacking sweetness. Glass 1 does have the sweetness that glass 2 is lacking, but it doesn't have the depth.
Ooh.
So realistically speaking, there you go.
Realistically speaking, they should be a perfect marriage like us, right?
Perhaps. Because every marriage
is perfect.
So these two, to me, are different occasion sippers.
Okay.
So glass 1 is when I want something just generally sweet, kind of not too sweet though. And I just want it to fall to the background. I want to just generally enjoy that standard bourbon flavor. Whereas glass 2 is something I'm going to reach for when I want a little bit more complexity and want to spend some time with it. However, that lack of sweetness in glass 2 is really, really hurting it for me. So I feel like there's a lot of things like glass 1. Glass 2 seems a little bit more elevated, but I'm not sure it's exactly my thing. I see you're just okay on both of them. I do prefer glass 2. I'm going to give them a soft thumbs up on each one, just because I feel like, you know, I would like to have these around for certain specific occasions.
Like such as?
It's summertime, it's hot. Glass 1 to me sounds like kind of a good summertime sipper. Okay. Whereas glass 2 for me is way more like, I'm going to pour this at the end of the night, sit down and have it in a glass. And if I'm not having a particular sweet tooth night, which is almost never for me, I'm usually leaning towards things that are much sweeter than glass 2. Yeah. That's when I would grab something like that. Let me try this blend.
I was going to offer this.
Oh, it smells better on the nose.
I quite enjoy the blend of those two, whatever they are. And it was roughly a 50-50 blend. I mean, it's not an exact science because I couldn't exactly tell how much I had left, but it was about a 50-50 blend of whatever these two are.
I see you. I still think I prefer glass 2 to the blend, but I do prefer the blend to glass 1.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Okay,
All
fair.
Right. By the way, I would say that glass 1 seems like a really good, reasonable entry-level pour. I would say that, you know, $30 is a fair price, $25-$30. Glass 2 seems like it could be more like 50 or 60, maybe even 75 or 80. Seems like it's got some age to it. So that's just my perception of these two based on what we're tasting.
Interesting.
So glass number 1,
Interesting
what's
perception.
the price? Number 6 in our pool.
$80.
Number 1 is $80? Glass number 6?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Does not bode well.
Basically take what you said and flip-flop the prices.
Really? What's glass number 2?
$45.
Oh. This is easy.
Yeah. So for me, glass 2...
Hang on, you're sure you're not mixing them up? Glass 2 is number 5.
Number 6. Here, let me...
Just tell me the price. By number 6. You got it.
$80.
Okay. And 5 is $45.
$45.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am going to move glass 2 to a thumbs up for the price. I do think it is a good value buy. It's not my preferred flavor profile, but it was good enough where if it was $45, I would want to have it around for other people who might like it more than I like it.
And you're staying just okay on glass 1?
I'm staying just okay on glass 1.
Right.
It's the price is a little higher than I'd like to pay, but overall it's not an astronomical price and it's decent. I just don't care for it.
Yeah. I'll move glass 1 down to a just okay as well. I mean, it's not bad. It's just not my particular profile. Yeah. So for that money, it's not a hard pass, but you know, not the first thing I would buy, not the first 5 bottles I would buy at $80.
For sure.
Whereas glass number 2, I will stay thumbs up. I think
Okay.
that you're getting good value. Man, it reads with some age. That's wild. Okay. What is glass number 1, number 6 in our pool?
Blanton's.
Whoa.
It's 93 proof, which you could kind of tell.
What's glass number 2, number 5 in our pool?
Wow, we just kind of poo-poo Blanton's. Michter's US1 small batch. It's
Wow.
91 proof, which I would have guessed that this was a little bit higher proof than
Wow.
the 93 proofer. Can you get Michter's US1 small batch?
Yeah, in most markets. Now that I go back to it, knowing it's Michter's, and usually I get like a red fruit type of note on Michter's, I'm getting maple syrup on it right now.
I didn't get any sweetness on it. Not even...
Smell that. See if you get like maple syrup and French toast to me.
Okay, on the nose, but not on the palate. I can get maple syrup on the nose.
Man, yeah, this Blanton's bottle too, like, I mean, they're single barrels, so they do vary, but it just goes to show you the horsey hype. When you don't know what you're drinking, does it live up to it?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of bright. It felt a little young.
Yeah, we've had some decent bottles of Blanton's. This is one of them when we know we're drinking it, but in a blind tasting, it didn't hold up. And
wild.
we've kind of been all over the map. I don't think Blanton's has ever got more than just a thumbs up for you. Most of the time, especially with money taken into account, it's usually a just okay or a thumbs down for me, depending on how good that single barrel is.
Yeah.
But Michter's, for less money and way less trouble, I would just buy Michter's.
Yeah, I mean,
Just buy Michter's bourbon.
I would agree. Although, if I'm being honest, I would get the Michter's rye over the bourbon. But that's just me. That's my personal preference.
Yeah. And as much of a bourbon guy as I am, I probably would as well, because Michter's does rye really, really well.
They do.
But again, this was a fun head-to-head. Hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you found something informative or entertaining in here. If you did, think about liking the video. Think about subscribing to the channel, because it's just going to get more blind tastings like this in your feed. It's what we do. We do it every week over here. So join in, hit that bell. It'll let you know we're going live. We do that once a month. If good people and good whiskey are what you're about, then you would really owe it to yourself to check out our Patreon community.
For sure.
That's how you can get into our Discord through Patreon.
Yep.
Everybody's invested in the community. Everybody participates, and well, not everybody participates, but everybody that participates.
We have a very active Discord, Patreon community on Discord.
Yeah, boy, it's very active. Very active.
Yeah.
People are giving away bottles. People are sharing samples. People are helping each other find things. All kinds of stuff is going on over there. So it's worth checking out.
For sure.
And more than any of that, it's all about the good people. So if you want to get plugged in to a really good community, then we kind of have the best one out there.
Facts.
Just saying. I
Spitting
think
facts.
Best community on planet Earth, in our opinion. We might be biased. We're not blind. We don't know. But to us, it is the best. And that's also where we release our barrel picks, where we go to distilleries, choose barrels that fit our flavor profile, and then make those available to you guys. So it starts at the top tiers and work their way down. And if they make it through all the paid tiers, then they release to the free tier. So at least go over to Patreon and sign up for the free tier. And that link is in the video description below.
Absolutely.
As is a link to our merchandise, like shirts like this. And even have a link down there to Erin's shirt shop, her apparel shop.
Yeah.
Cozy Corner Cove.
A little side hustle.
Yeah, if you want to check that out. It's probably got some stuff in there that your wife might like if you're watching this.
Or the Homebody Club, if you can see it.
There's all kinds of stuff over there. Check it out.
Yeah. That's it.
I think that's it.
Yeah. Be good to each other, y'all. And until next time, cheers.
Careful chasing those horsies.